attempts.
Live from Daytona International Raceway, it's here, the first race to kick off the GTR Simulator Goat Locker Sports Car Fall Season, and not a better place to do it at all here at Daytona. The season we have up, we'll have the I can't even talk already tonight, the P217 LMP2s in the GTP class, and a full complement of GT3 cars in the GTD class. Every driver out there would like to start the season off with the podium to carry into this 15-week season, but only 6 can get the prize here tonight. The green flag is just moments away. This is the Goat Locker Racing GTR Sports Car Simulator Series right now, right here on V-Speed, your number one source for online race coverage. So I'm in the booth, your host, Ken Huber. Alongside me tonight will be Claire Sisk, welcoming her on board with us. And then Kobe Jordan will be producing tonight with cameras being provided by Dougie Beard. So welcome on board there, Claire.
Well, great to be on board. I've always loved these kind of cars, and even though I suck at driving them, they're still amazing to watch.
Yeah, you should get out here and race with these guys once in a while. These are a lot of fun, especially the GT3 class. You know, the LMP2s can be a little edgy, but I know all these guys are excited. We got a smaller LMP2 class tonight. We only got about 5 cars that are going to be starting this thing, but we had the schedule up on there before. We're going to talk about the Season 4 schedule. We've got 15 races. Like I said, we're starting here under the lights at Daytona, but you can see there a long, grueling schedule here for the fall schedule for Goat Locker Racing. And then we're going to wrap the whole thing up at Road America. And we've got, not to mention we got a long season, but we got a couple of long races in there too, a couple of 2-hour races.
Yeah, I mean, those 2-hour races are they really are like endurance racing, especially for like league racing. It takes a lot of concentration to keep that going, especially with how many turns you have to do on and off throttle. And, I usually crash out within 30 minutes, so 2 hours is a little bit much for me.
Well, it can wear on, what do you call it, your mental fortitude racing that long. But you mentioned Daytona here. This 3.56 mile circuit, a classic historical road. I love racing here, especially under the lights. They won't have negative weather to deal with, at least, but there's your race analysis right there. They're going to be racing for an hour with pit road speed of 55 miles an hour. They'll have unlimited sets of tires, 0 green, white checkers attempts, because we won't have any cautions, that's for sure. 75% fuel with an iRacing fixed setup. Actually, that's not true. So they're actually running open setups here tonight. We changed that a couple of years ago, but it'll be interesting. 75% fuel. They'll get about, depending on what car they're in, they'll get about 35 to 45 minutes here at Daytona before they have to pit. But we have completed qualifying here tonight. And now let's talk about our Jam Printing and Promotion Pole Award winner. Since forming in 2013, Jam has contributed printing and promotional sponsorships to more than 60 local nonprofits with a primary focus on organizations that assist veterans, women, and children. They've been with Goat Locker since the very beginning. Local and veteran certified. When they do well, they do good in the community. And speaking do it good, Melissa Dyer in the 38 LMP2 will bring that across to start this race with the green flag. We've got some other drivers. We've got Zachary Minnis there is going to start on the outside there in second. Jordan Johnson will start in third in the 78. Samuel Agee is back in the 43, and I think Samuel Agee was in GT3 last season, so he is stepping up to the LMP2s this season. And then Jason Kristen will wrap out your 5-car LMP2 field.
Actually, a little bit slight correction on yours, and that's Trevor Dyer that won the pole. We have, unfortunately, I need to pull up the results. Looks like Logan Threlkeld won the pole for the GT3 class, followed with Samuel Joseph in second, Calvin Fiore in third, John Houchin in fourth, Chase Barkus in fifth, Jason Black in sixth, Eddie Smith in seventh, James Goshen in eighth, DJ Patterson in ninth, and Corinne Smith in 10th.
Then you have Honest Softic starting in 11th, and on his outside you got Charles Ebert. He's back this year. Jamie Lipke will start in 13th position in the 16 machine. Andrew Carnes will start 14th on the field. Dave Calvert will start 15th with Matt Wiebers on his outside. Noah Hogard will start 17th with Mike Swardson starting 18th. In 19th will be Bill Mofield. And John Lawless will wrap out your 20-car field. I don't know how I screwed up the pole award winner there tonight, so I have to apologize there. But I still only see Melissa Dyer there taking.
It's one of those things. He signed up with his mom's credit card.
Oh, gotcha.
At least that's what I can remember. I don't. If that's not the case, I apologize.
I've seen that before, so I'm going to have to. What was that name again?
Trevor Dyer.
Trevor Dyer. Okay. So I'm going to have to fix that. So Trevor out there is going to take this field to the green flag here. Lights are out on the pace truck. Daytona is just a fun track to drive. They updated it here recently with the bus stop here about a year ago. It made the bus stop really challenging. It was probably where we're going to see a few accidents out here tonight, but I expect to see that pace truck dip off here in just a second. We're about to go green flag racing here. We're going to have the LMP2s going to take the green flag as they're coming to the line right now. And we are green flag racing here tonight at Goat Locker Racing. Already there's a big checkup on the outside there with Zachary Minnis. Didn't want to jump that start, I believe. And Melissa Dyer is going to lead him down into turn one. I'm sorry, Trevor Dyer. I get it right.
It's all good. All right, we got Logan Threlkeld on the outside. And, they look like they touched, almost getting off track right there, and they go through the S's. Oh, Logan loses the lead going into turn, I guess, 3. I'm having learned I apologize. I'm having learned the people's names on the fly. John Houghton is running in third, trying to track down these first 2 cars up here, and it doesn't look like Threlkeld's really ready to let it go.
Well, now we move back. So you've seen that battle there that we were having with the LMP2. So there was a battle there. You see the 43 Samuel Agee there, currently running in P4. Just behind him, he's got one of the GT3 cars. That's Sammy Joseph, who's having a strong night, has moved himself up to the first position in the GT3 field. Got Logan Threlkeld just behind him in that yellow and red Porsche. So you got a Porsche trying to chase down that Mercedes. And then you got another battle further back there. That looks like the 71 of Coleman Jerry. I think I got that right. Oh, no, excuse me. That's another battle even further back there. Yeah, we're watching some of the drivers blink out, some connection issues there. We're getting some rust shaken off here at the start of the season. So you've seen the 36 car there, Sammy Joseph. Currently, he's actually, I'm showing him still up in the lead there, but he's got Logan Threlkeld right in tow. So we've had some good battles already. So you see Logan Threlkeld looking to the outside as they cross the start-finish line. And
is he going to try to outbrake him going into turn 1? And I mean, they were side by side, and maybe they might be able to do the crossover going into turn 2.
Yeah,
No.
they're gonna head down into Horseshoe Bend here. We'll see if Logan will want to stick it in here. But one of the ideas behind that turn one there is Logan just needs to see. So when you're coming up to turn one, it's a very tricky corner. You're trying to keep the view, and you need to know where your braking zone is. As we ride on board with Logan Threlkeld, you see Samuel Joseph just ahead of him there. But what he's trying to do is just get some visibility on that quarter entry so he doesn't screw it up, because it's very easy to get into the back of that driver in front of you. So you'll see that all the time, all race long here when you got two drivers. You'll see them split going into turn one, almost like an attempted pass, but it's usually just to get visibility.
Oh, thank you. I actually did not know that.
Looking a little bit further back here in the field. Oh, we're up here at the LMP2 field here, going through the bus stop. Got a couple of drivers here, Zachary Minnis here and Trevor Dyer. Looked like Zachary Minnis was trying to put some heat there on Trevor. Trevor got the best of him going through that bus stop. And it could be another one of those visibility issues there, Claire, where trying to get that corner entry and trying not to get on these bumps. And you can see as the GT3 field here goes through the bus stop here, they got to be really careful on the curbs. And I can tell you from racing out here many years that the Porsches seem to go over those curbs the best here at Daytona. So everybody else is probably on pins and needles as they cross those curbs.
Yeah, I've always been told that the Porsches can actually do pretty good acrobatics whenever they hit those curves, and everybody else kind of bottoms out and kind of upsets the car really bad. My only really experience is in the McLaren and the Ferrari, so I don't know a whole lot about the Porsches. As we see a pass being taken right here, and it looks like they're going to try to do actually the crossover. As up front we still have Samuel Joseph leading with Logan Threlkeld hot on his bumper as we switch back to LMPs.
Yeah, back here, battle for the lead. Trevor Dyer under some serious pressure right now. Got Zachary Minnis on the inside trying to get this position as they go up on the NASCAR 2 here. They're up on the backstretch of Daytona. He gets the pass made. Now, can he hang on to it? You got Trevor now in the slipstream, goes out to the outside there, trying to shake him off the line. Now they're going to head down to the bus stop. It's a race down here with Trevor on the outside. We're going to see who's going to chicken out here and hit the brakes. Neither one of them do. They're going to go side by side. They got to be very careful here, and it looks like Zachary was able to hang on to that position, and we're going to be able to credit Zachary with the lead here if he crosses with it at the start-finish line.
Yeah, Trevor definitely looked like he was made the executive decision to live to fight another corner, because that did not look like it was going to work out very well.
No, my heart was in my throat there watching those two guys going to the bus stop. Usually you'll see one guy will chicken out, and usually it's the guy on the outside. But those two guys showed some really skill out there. I mean, they're the top two qualifiers, and on speed there, they're showing basically the class of the field right now. But just behind them, Jordan Johnson in the third position. He is still in this thing as well. And then behind him, you got Jason Kristen, who started in fifth and is up a position on the night. Samuel Agee still back there. Actually, the LMP2 field hasn't stretched that far as we look back at the GT3 field. Yeah. Logan Threlkeld.
And we see Logan Threlkeld taking the pass going to turn one and through the I guess you said the horseshoe bend, right? Yep. But Samuel Joseph is not letting him get far away as he comes back on the inside of him. Unfortunately, it looks like Joseph thought better of it.
Yeah, tried to make some hay there on the kink there. Couldn't get it done, as we have a driver out there that has spun that Corvette. We're going to go back and see exactly what happened. I'm trying to figure out what driver that was.
See, that looks like me.
So that was James Goshen there that spun that Corvette. And it's very easy to do there. If you get on the throttle a little too early there in turn one, that's exactly what happens there. So Goshen has got his work cut out for him tonight, currently running right now in the 13th position. So he's going to have to figure out how to get it back up front.
And I know Goshen is usually a pretty good driver. I don't know his road course credibility, how much talent he had on road courses, but he's usually a very consistent driver.
Well, battle for the lead in the LMP2 field again. Looks like Zachary Minnis is not wanting to give this up. He led the last lap, but he has got some pressure there. Trevor Dyer putting some heat on there as they head into Horseshoe Bend. Is going to go on the inside. almost get together. They do get together. Oh, no. So Trevor gets into the back there of Zachary Minnis. Zachary Minnis is going to have to collect this thing up and try to run him down, but very unfortunate, unforced error there. I want to say that Trevor kind of caused that there, probably got in, or maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe Zachary pinched him down a little bit. It was hard to say from that angle, but man, what a way to give up the lead. We're going to go back and take a look at this again. So yeah, it looks like two drivers trying to occupy the same spot. And now that I re-see that, I want to say that Zachary might have crowded that corner a little. Maybe didn't expect Trevor to dive into that turn.
Yeah, you always have to give a little bit of room, but then it did not seem like any room was given in that corner because it was just all take.
Well, right now we've got another battle going on because that backed up Trevor. Now Trevor's got Jordan Johnson. He's been flashing the lights there in the LMP2s. Jordan Johnson now finds himself in P2 using that GT3 car there as a draft partner to try to get some speed headed into turn one. And that was Jason Black that they just passed in that GT3. But they are side by side going into turn one. And it looks like Trevor's going to hang on to it. It looks like they're teammates by those paint jobs they've got on those.
I was about to say the same thing.
So now their job is going to be to probably stick nose to tail and try to use that slipstream to we know that Zachary Minnis has a fast car out there, and he's going to have to strategize to get himself back up there. He's currently running in that P5 slot, but we're looking a little bit further back here in the GT3 field. We haven't talked about them too much tonight, but there's a lot of action happening back here. Looks like we're looking at the 42.
And Bill Mofield in the number 911 coming up, going through the NASCAR 1 and 2, I believe.
Yeah, it sounds good to me. So I'm actually looking at the car numbers. I think that's his. I'm trying to figure out. I almost want to say that my scoring is a little off here because my car numbers aren't matching up here tonight with who's driving those. So we'll have to get a fix on that. But looking back here looking at this, there could be a black flag race. I don't know if there could be race control, live race control. So there could be a black flag in the cards for Trevor Dyer for that incident. Yep, there it is. I see it now. So I think race control ruled that that was his fault. So maybe stuck that nose in there a little too deep, and he's going to come in and serve that penalty. And the thing about it is you got to hope, with these LMP2s, we are, let's see how many minutes into this race. We are 10 minutes into this race. I don't think that they can go with 75% fuel. I don't think that they can go the distance. So it would be at least another stop for Trevor here. But, going to come down pit road and serve that penalty, and that's going to allow the lead over to Jordan Johnson.
Yeah, and with it looks like we got Samuel Eggy and Jason Kristen very close behind. Kristen in that pink and yellow Ghost Energy car that he's actually so famous for.
Yeah, they're doing a great job. I got to say, with the prototypes out here, everybody's doing a great job. We had that incident there in the Horseshoe Bend that we've seen, and Trevor's out there serving that penalty as we speak. But having all these prototypes out here pretty much nose to tail. Of course, you've got Zachary Minnis there in the background. He's about 9 seconds behind the leader here, but Zachary was pretty fast, so he might be able to make it up. We still got 50 minutes to go.
It's still a long way to go in this race, and we still haven't really got to the point where everybody starts really spreading out. I mean, there has been a little bit of spreading out on the track. I mean, but it's still not to the point where it usually gets to about the 20, 30 minutes in, to where there's cars at every single portion of the track.
Yeah. Well, right now we're watching Logan Threlkeld lead the GT3 field, and he's gotten around Sammy Yosef. Sammy Yosef really strong in that Mercedes here tonight. That's a fun car to drive. Front engine versus rear engine, so the tale of two different worlds out here. So they're pretty much got their engines nose to tail there, tip to tip, as they would say. And we'll get through as they come down the backstretch here into the bus stop. I thought Samuel was going to take a peek there, but he decided he'll hold off there and maybe try to get in that slipstream and get a run down into turn 1. But it looks like that Porsche got through that bus stop really well. So I don't know if he's going to be able to get there in time before they get to turn 1.
Yeah, I've been keeping my eye on this battle that's going on. They have not let each other relax one moment throughout this entire, 13 minutes that we've been going so far. It is just whoever's in second just hounds the person's in the lead the entire time, and it definitely is very just hard racing, and it's amazing.
Yeah, and we're also coming probably up to a pit window. So it'll be interesting. These GT3s should be able to go about 45 minutes on 75% fuel. And so we're coming up to that window where, they could come in, top off, and be all set for the rest of the race. And, it's going to be a matter of whether some of these drivers might take tires or not. That kind of hurts you. And a track like Daytona doesn't chew them up too bad. We got cool temperatures out here tonight. We're looking at 75-degree track temperature. So it shouldn't be too hard on the tires. It's just a matter of managing that fuel, and I imagine it'll probably be for most drivers a splash and go towards the end of this thing. Now, that said,
I've actually made the mistake of actually taking tires a few times in some of these races, and basically you're just out there for cold tires for another 5 laps whenever you could have just been, continue to make hot laps. And my night ended really early a couple times because of that.
Yeah, we got a battle up here with the leaders of the LMP2 class. So we see there Samuel Agee. He has found himself up in the lead position right now. So Samuel Agee putting the heat on these drivers right now. What a great show that these drivers are putting out in these cars. I haven't all last season we watched these cars separate out. Not really too good of battles there, but these guys are doing a great job out here tonight as we're looking at another battle here. Back to the Samuel Joseph and Logan Threlkeld battle. Joseph is right there, going to take a look to the inside, but backed out. So again, you got to be very careful into turn 1, but these two drivers look like they're showing a lot of respect to each other there and getting through this track very nicely right now. Another driver we haven't talked about, Claire, Chase Barkas. He's currently running in third in the GT3 field in the 710. And Chase Barkas having an impressive run out here in the Corvette. We seen him last season. To me, I want to say he's making marked improvement out here compared to where he was last season. So he's kind of quiet. He's not really out there battling anybody, but I don't know if I want to count this driver out tonight.
Well, if you take a look, he is within, spitting distance of the first two drivers. If one of them makes a mistake, goes off track, he's right there to pounce.
Speaking of another driver we haven't talked about, I'd like to go to the 71 of Coleman Jerry, and I hope I got that name right there. So it's weird when you look at his name, but you see him out there in the BMW. He had Corin Smith back there in the Porsche just behind him. These two drivers are battling for 5th and 6th in the GT3 field. So Corin is having an awesome night as well. She is holding on to almost a top 5 position and doing really well in that Porsche.
That, and right behind Corinne, you got Jamie Lipke. She's over here in her Ferrari, and she's been steady. She's been steady on making the corners and everything like that, not really getting off track. Kind of more of a boring race, I guess you could say, but it's not really taking any unnecessary risks is what I'm trying to say.
Well, speaking of risk, you see the leaders right here, Logan Threlkeld and Sammy Joseph. So I like what Sammy Joseph's doing. I'm almost afraid to say this because he might be watching the broadcast, but he probably knows. So here at Daytona, you use a lot of fuel. But if you can run in somebody's slipstream all night long, that Porsche is going to be burning through a lot more fuel than that Mercedes. And what happens is when they're only taking a splash and go, if Logan Threlkeld has to take an extra gallon, that could be worth a second or two on the track. And so when the pit stops happen, and that might be what Sammy Joseph is thinking, is like, well, just stay in the slipstream, don't pass them, when the pit stops happen, I can save some time and I can beat them on pit lane and have a 1 or 2 second gap coming off pit lane. And I think that might be the strategy in play here.
Samuel definitely does like to play some of those strategy calls. Being in voice chat with him a few times and some of more of the oval series and stuff like that. He's one of those drivers that's always trying to think 3 steps ahead, and very strategy focused and everything like that. And so that would not surprise me one bit.
So right there, you've seen it, Samuel Agee, the leader of the LMP2 field, getting through traffic right now. You see a Corvette, I believe that's, I know that, I want to say that was Seagraves, but he's not here tonight. It might have been Swartzen, or no, that's not it either. But you see the Corvette getting out of the way there, but almost contact there with the GT3 field, the Samuel Agee. I haven't talked about Samuel Agee being in the lead, I don't think, all last season. He was pretty much with us all last season, and I believe he ran in the GT3 field. But tonight, he is doing a great job out there in that black and purple LMP2. Currently, still leading this thing. So great job for that driver tonight. Jordan Johnson would like to get that position back, though. Currently running in second in that 78, that red and white car, and then Jason Kristen in third, just not too far behind, about 2 or 3 seconds behind these two. So these two have hooked up, and it's the same strategy almost with the LMP2s. The only thing I question is we got a driver looking to the outside. I don't believe that will attempt the pass. It's just a matter, like I said, of getting the view going into turn 1, and you got some GT3 traffic that they're coming up on. So that's James Goshen just ahead of them in that Corvette. And you can see him flashing the lights. Hey, get out of the way, please. I got some heat on me, and wants to get through Horseshoe Bend without carnage and try to hopefully open up some time. But like I said, Claire, I think it's the same thing here. Trying to save fuel. If Jordan Johnson runs back there in the slipstream, might be able to save some fuel. But one thing I'm not too familiar with is tire strategy with the LMP2. So, I know the GT3s, you don't really need to take tires for their fuel stops, but these LMP2s are probably only going to go about 35 minutes on 75% fuel here at Daytona. So, the question is, do they take tires or not?
Unfortunately, I don't have any experience with that either, and I would almost, with all the downforce that they have, they could possibly chew up tires more, just, thinking about the physics of it and everything like that. But then again, they might not need the tire grip as much, and because they have all that aero grip, so they might not need the mechanical grip.
Yep, and that's what I'm wondering too. I have some experience in these cars, not a lot. I've always drove GT3s mainly, but I have a season in these cars. They're fun to drive. They stick really well. You just got to be careful on using that downforce and easing off the brake when the downforce starts going away on the cars when you're in the braking zones and stuff like that. Is you can see there that Jordan Johnson is just all over the back of Samuel Agee right now as they navigate their way through this GT3 traffic. Both of them. Both of them go around. Samuel Agee, Jordan Johnson, both go around. I was kind of watching the other screen there, so I'm not sure what happened here going into one, but there's heavy damage there on Jordan Johnson's machine as he's trying to get that going. We're going to go back to the V-Speed instant replay. You see him trying to navigate the GT3, the Porsche there on the outside. I believe that's Eddie Smith. But, just gets into the back of the leader. Samuel Agee looked like he was a little slow there. Maybe misjudged that corner entry, and Jordan goes around and Agee goes around, but Agee was able to get that car going. And Agee currently running in P2 right behind. I want to say that's it gets together there with Jason Kristen. So Jason Kristen up there currently in the lead position in the LMP2. So Jason Kristen might lead a lap first time this season if he can make to the start-finish line, hold off as we got the 66 going around this. John Houchin taking that Huracan around that Lamborghini, goes around with a self-spin there.
It's going through the bus stop, which, like you were saying, it was a little bit changed this year. Makes it a little bit harder, and I guess we had our first snake bite on that one.
Yeah, he's got some positions, but we got a battle for the lead right now. Agee looking back, going to the outside here. coming around NASCAR 3 and 4 and headed towards the start finish line. It's a drag race. Oh, they touch. I don't know what's going on here, but that looked maybe somebody's unhappy with the other driver. I didn't see Jason Kristen do anything wrong there, so I'm not sure what that tap was about. But Jason Kristen holding there. He's going to stick it into one on the inside, going to fight back as Aggie is back in the lead as they come into the horseshoe bend here. But what a drive by Kristen holding on to that thing. And he finds himself back in P2 again. And by the way, Kristen did not lead. Oh, yes, he did. He did lead that lap. So he's got a lap led this season now. So going back to our Lamborghini, John Houchin that had the issue earlier, and he's in the 66 machine. He's now back. He's got Charles Abert, another driver, in the 7 car just behind him after that spin. Houchin is going to have some work to do there in the GT3 field. But that 66 is recovered. Doesn't look like looks like he's able to keep that speed up. As we're watching the LMP2 field there, it looks like Kristen is starting to slip back now behind there. We're looking at the leaders now for the GT3 field.
Yeah, it's been the same story here on the GT3 side. They've just been, Josef has just been a car length behind to right on Velkeld's bumper the entire time, not letting him escape for two car lengths. I'm really thinking that you might be onto something about getting that tow and saving some fuel throughout this track, Ken.
Yeah, and I've had that done to me so many times. We watched for the battle back at the LMP2 class. Jason Kristen now putting some pressure on the outside there. Can't get it done there. It's so difficult to do. And iRacing recently updated Daytona. There used to be a really wide line you could run there with the LMP2s. But they fixed that, so it's course cutting now is what iRacing considers it. So he can't run out really wide here at Daytona like we used to. We used to see these cars swing way out wide in turn 1. But that's been nerfed, and so these two drivers are going to have to find another way around. But Jason Kristen putting on an awesome performance here tonight. Almost gets into the back of their leader there of Samuel Aggie. But, man, what a great job seeing these new drivers running up front here tonight.
Yeah, Aggie and Kristen seem to be pretty on par as far as pace goes, and they just seem to be, kind of stuck together just like Velkeld and Josef are on the other side of things. And Kristen seems to definitely has a season or two of the LMPs under his belt, so we should probably see some pretty good things out of him this season.
Well, on another note, James Goshen, as you can see there, or Houchin, I'm sorry, John Houchin, he just pitted to get that Lamborghini repaired, probably get his service done for the last time. And speaking of service, you know where to learn how to do service and tech work on your car, and that's Lincoln Tech. Lincoln Tech's mission is to provide superior education and training to our students for an in-demand careers in a supporting, accessible learning environment, transforming students' lives and adding value to their communities. They're one of the largest automotive technology schools in the nation with 23 campuses. They're the title sponsor of the Spring Series and a very large partner here at Goat Locker Racing. We're very happy to have Lincoln Tech on board. So maybe Houchin has got some Lincoln Tech learning there and able to get that Lamborghini out there and get it fixed and get back out there. But what a battle we're having out here with the leaders of the LMP2 class.
Yeah, the LMP2s definitely do not seem like they want to let anybody go. But as far as like Lincoln Tech, they have been a big supporter of Goat Locker Racing ever since I've been a member of it. And it's definitely awesome to see them show their support this entire time.
Absolutely. As we got more cars on pit lane, we can see the GT3 field. They're kind of splitting this right in half. So we've got Dave Calvert, Bill Molefield on pit lane. You see the BMW there. So the GT3s, I think they're just doing it at the halfway point. I think they could run about 45 minutes. I could be wrong because Daytona is a very fuel-intensive track. However, you're looking at the leaders now, the GT3 field. They have not come down pit lane. So I think I'm still holding on to it. They're not splitting this one up. They're probably going to go the distance. And the only thing I worried, I think Sammy Yusuf is setting Logan Threlkeld up for failure here as long as Sammy Yusuf can pull off a great pit stop. Back to the lead here of the LMP2 class. Here we go again. Samuel Agee gets passed by Jason Kristen there. Jason Kristen in that yellow and red machine. And it looks like, oh, there's a GT3 car that Samuel Agee had to check up for and able to check up for that. Zachary Minnis now back in this picture. So Zachary Minnis in the 31 just behind him. So Zachary Minnis showing some force out there right now as well. So you got the top three.
That's very impressive because Minnis was at one point like 9 seconds back whenever he had that spin. So to see him already come back up to third within half a second of the leader, that's showing some very strong power in this car.
Oh, you just seen it there. Got on the brakes too hard there. That was Samuel Agee. He's going to give up that second position right now. Got on the brakes too hard, locked him up, was dealing with a lot of traffic there. That was Corinne Smith, and just locked up the brakes, and now he's going to have to run his way back. But speaking of another driver that was 9 seconds back in the LMP2 field, that was Trevor Dyer. Trevor Dyer now, he's still in fourth, but he is only about 3 seconds behind our leader. So Trevor Dyer is about to enter this picture as well.
After the mistakes that they made, they are definitely going all out, trying to get back up here, so they can still have a shot. As we switch back to the GT3s, it's still the same story of Threlkeld leading and Sammy Yusuf just following him in his tire tracks. Like you said, probably trying to use that draft to save as much fuel so he doesn't have to fill up as much whenever they finally just do decide to pit.
Well, I've got some news. It looks like our LMP2 field is on pit lane. So we've got Jason Kristen, Samuel Agee on pit lane. You can see that car is up in the air getting tires, but I don't see the same there for Samuel Agee. So it looks like Kristen and Zachary Minnis are all up getting tires, and Agee is not taking tires. I'm not sure what's going on, but we'll see how these guys exit. You can see all four LMP2 cars right there, all nose to tail. We'll see who wins the race off pit lane. Watching here as the cars come down, taking a long time to get these things fueled up, and there you go. You got, we got the race off pit lane, and it looks like that 02 machine, Jason Kristen almost had it, but going to have to give that to Zachary Minnis. Zachary Minnis is going to be the first prototype off pit lane as they head now down to Horseshoe as they exit pit lane. It looks like they're free of traffic for the moment. They've only got one car ahead of them of Coleman Jerry up there in the GT3 field. Oh, and then we have a car go off. It looked like, I wanted to say Agee going off, but it wasn't. It was Jason Kristen. Got a little hot going on those cold tires, I think, and overcooked that corner a little bit.
It's always a little bit sketchy whenever you try to sorry. It's always a little sketchy whenever you put some of those tires out in the grass and you have to hold on to it. But now that we return to the GT3 field, it for a second there it looked like Yusuf was going to peek out, but I think it was just like what you were saying earlier, Ken, where he was just peeking out, trying to make sure he could see the corner and not run to the back of Threlkeld.
Yeah. And this is going to be a nail biter for these drivers because, we're 32 minutes into this thing, and it's going to be I know it's got to be making Logan probably nervous. I think Logan's a pretty decent. Both these drivers are really good road course racers, and I'm sure Logan is aware of his situation. I've been in this situation before, and I'll usually try to let that driver in front of me pass. But sometimes they'll just lift. They'll run me fast enough where I can't really slow down and just burning my fuel up. So, Logan's going to really need a really good pit stop. I think the Porsche might use a little bit less fuel than that Mercedes behind him, but I think that Mercedes is just back there. That's Sammy Yusuf there in that blue and white machine. Oh, as we got a car big time damage on pit lane. One of the prototypes there, I want to say that is might be Trevor Dyer.
Either Dyer or Johnson. Yeah, it's Trevor Dyer, number 38.
Yeah. Oh, that's a hard impact there into that tire barrier. So just that car gets away from him. I think it might have been on cold tires because he had made his stop as well. And he's going to tow that thing back to pit lane.
Do they have fast repairs in this series, Ken?
I don't believe so, as we take another look at that. So, yeah, he'll have to drive that thing back or get it towed. Yeah, that's a tough break. Tough break for our pole sitter tonight, so not going very well for him. And then we just seen Jason Kristen there for a moment there. We got his teammate on pit lane. Yeah, there's a lot of the LMP2s are coming back. It looks like we had some black flags I wasn't paying attention to, and Jordan Johnson's got a black flag, so I think we got some. We got a meatball for Jordan Johnson. So some damage on that machine. Zachary Minnis had a black flag. Matt Weber's in the GT3 field. So just all kinds of things going on during that pit stop. Looking at another incident cars. Here. Yeah.
That is some bad luck. It always sucks whenever you and your teammate both wreck out, especially around the same time.
Well, we got to change the stories here. So I'm not sure if Logan let him by. Logan looking to the outside here. But Logan now finds himself in second right now as they head towards the bus stop. I think one of these drivers is going to have to give. Logan's going to give here. But Logan might have been listening to the commentary here and said, I better save some fuel. But, Samuel could dive this thing off into pit lane right now, and all bets are off. So it's all going to see how this works out. We'll see if they pass pit lane once again. But like I said, I think these cars can go, if I had to guess, 45 minutes. And, yeah, they're going to pass pit lane once again. So Logan Threlkeld now in that draft. And if Logan's not careful, he's going to lose that draft, and all the fuel savings that he might try to do will go out the window. Coming up on lap traffic right now, got Andrew Carnes just ahead of them in the 998. I believe Andrew is driving a Corvette, it looks like, or maybe a Ferrari. Yeah, it looks like the Ferrari. Well, it's always nice seeing the Ferraris. Ferraris have been really good here in iRacing this season. So a couple of seasons ago, they weren't a well-used car. They're probably one of the more unusual cars here to drive in the GT3 field. The Ferrari is it's got quite a different gear set than the rest of the cars. So you're down a gear, you're loading that turbo up all the time. So it takes a little bit different kind of skills getting that Ferrari around this track or any track the way it's set up. But just a little note there about the Ferraris.
I switched from the McLaren to the Ferrari because whenever I first started doing the GT3 racing, they told me to just pick a car that I wanted and go for it that I thought was cool. And, well, the McLaren looked really cool, so I got that one. But unfortunately, I could not drive it at all. And I was actually having better luck in the Ferrari. So it was definitely a better experience because I wasn't spending as much.
Yeah, I like the mid-engine cars mostly, but whenever I switch to the Ferrari, I always have an adjustment period. I can go from the Corvette to the Lamborghini pretty easy. Although, every car, that's a great thing about GT3 cars is they all drive so different. But the Lamborghini, you really got to keep the momentum up on it, where the Corvette is just raw horsepower. And so it's still a different driving technique for both cars. But then you go to the Ferrari, and Ferrari almost wants to be finessed all the time. It's got a feel where it just wants to be finessed. It always takes me a couple of races to kind of fit back into it.
I've always heard that that's kind of more closer to the Corvette, where it hates whenever you're trying to force it somewhere, but I might be wrong about that.
Yeah, and it could be all driver style too. So, but we watched Logan Threlkeld go back by Sammy Yosef there, going to take the lead of the GT3 field. Both these guys still out there. Almost 40 minutes into this race. I'll tell you what, we've got some other great sponsors for this series that we like to talk about, right?
You read my mind, Ken. I was actually just about to talk about the GLR pit crew. Want to become part of the team behind the mission? Join the GLR Pit Crew. The GLR Pit Crew is our monthly giving program, providing consistent support for our mission to help veterans and first responders facing PTSD, mental health challenges, and suicide. When you join the Pit Crew, you're not just making a donation, you're becoming part of the team that keeps this mission moving forward. Learn more learn more today. Join today at GoLarkyRacing.org and click the Pit Crew banner. GLR Pit Crew, fueling the mission 1 month at a time.
Yeah, very awesome program for Goat Locker Racing and supporting the veterans and first responders out here. So it's a great thing that Goat Locker does, and if you want to support the mission, that's a great way to do it. Still watching this battle here. Logan Threlkeld, Sammy Yosef gonna maybe go by pit lane one more time. Now I imagine, nope, here it is. So Logan Threlkeld. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. You notice that Threlkeld's a lap earlier, and this is what I was warning Threlkeld about, that might have burned a little too much fuel. But you know what? Threlkeld might be a little bit better on the pit stop, so he's going to need to pull off a really good one here. Going to bring that Porsche down on here on the pit lane, get some service. I don't see any tires going on that. Just a quick fuel, and going to head back out there and try to beat Yosef. Now, the question is how long can Yosef stay out there? How much fuel did he save, and how short will his pit stop be? So I'm going to take a look here at Logan Threlkeld's pit stop time once he completes it here. So 18 seconds on pit lane. So keep that in mind when Sammy Yosef, he's going by the 52 car right now of Matt Weber's, but keep that in mind when Sammy Yosef makes his pit stop. So, you know, Logan Threlkeld, 18.2 seconds in his pit box. So, you know, if Samuel saved that fuel by running in that slipstream this whole time, you know, he could be looking at like probably a maybe sub 16 second stop.
And to top it off, I know these cars, they typically run, you can typically run faster laps with lower fuel loads. So with Samuel Yosef going longer right now, he probably is able to make up more time that Threlkeld's not able to, because he has the heavier full fuel load right now.
Yep, that's a good point. Well, we'll see what Yosef does now, because I am curious of how much fuel saving he's done. So, and you never know who might be able to catch a good draft here or not. So it looks like Sammy Yosef going to go by once again. So I think Logan Threlkeld was probably needed to come into pit lane that time, and you're seeing that difference in fuel strategy right now. Now these cars, being that they are different, obviously they have different fuel capacities and different fuel burn rates. But all in the end, in most races, it all shakes out in the wash by the end of these things. So be curious as to what Samuel can do. And the rest of the LMP2 class, which was great all night long, is kind of spread out now. Not really a whole lot to talk about. You've got Jason Kristen right now. He's currently leading the LMP2, but he's got no pressure at the moment. 4 seconds behind him is Zachary Minnis. So we're just watching Samuel here, waiting for his pit stop, and see how this is all going to shake out. Logan Threlkeld is probably trying to put in some great lap times because he knows that he's got a little bit less fuel there. So he's got a lap car, or not a lap car, he's got the second place car of John Houchin up there in that Lamborghini. So, you know, speaking of a driver that made a comeback, let's talk about John Houchin here. He's currently running in that Lamborghini after we seen him spin and hit the wall. Remember, he had that bus stop incident. He's finding himself up in that second position.
Yeah, second position in the GT3 field. I mean, and I do believe that Joseph is pulling away from him just a little bit. Yeah, he's pretty consistently losing time throughout the corners and everything. But, I mean, just to make the rebound, come up from second, you can overcome your mistakes, because pretty much nobody's going to have a perfect race. There's always going to be every driver is going to make at least one mistake, but your job is to make sure you're able to capitalize when it happens.
Yeah, and the reason timing and scoring there said he was in fourth is because a lot of the drivers that had made their pit stop hadn't crossed the line yet. So he's currently being scored in the second position if he crosses the start-finish line. But right now, you've seen that fourth position. But John Houchin, solid night. I'm curious whether he has to make another stop or not, because he was on pit lane earlier. So that'll be a driver to watch, see if he can get on the podium here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, right now he is, fourth overall, second in his class. I mean, And it looks like he is actually coming into pits this time.
Yeah,
Get
so
your
I
answer there,
guess
Ken.
I did. As soon as I bring it up, that's what happens. But I had hopes out for him, but he's still having a solid night there. Got another
For
car joining
sure.
him on pit lane.
Is that one of the lap cars? I didn't actually get a chance to see who that was
Yeah, I want to
joining
say
him.
that was Charles Abert there in the 7 on pit lane as well. So both those cars getting service done. Going to go back and take a look and see what Sammy Yosef has got up his sleeve here this time by.
Oh,
Currently leading that GT3 field in that 36
yeah.
machine.
He's coming down the back stretch, about to make that bus stop on the back stretch, and he doesn't seem like he's made any mistakes yet. I know I said they've all made mistakes, but he doesn't. He just seems to be hitting his marks lap after lap.
Yeah, him and Logan Threlkeld both were doing great tonight. And as you're watching right now, Sammy Yosef just there we go. He's headed to pit lane. So the pit stop time on this car is critical. Remember, 18.2 on Logan Threlkeld. We'll see what Yosef can do here during his pit stop. We also got DJ Patterson we haven't talked about tonight on pit lane as well to get that machine serviced. Oh, we got a car around.
Looks like Corinne Smith.
Corinne is, yeah, you're right. Corinne goes around in that Porsche. We can take another look here on the V-Speed instant replay.
And looked like she was coming through I'm assuming the horseshoe, and just lost it.
Coming in hot. Got hot tires, a long race. Well, I'm going to go back and take a look at Sammy Yosef here. He has exited his pit box here, and his pit stop time was 15.9. So, a little over 2 seconds better than Logan Threlkeld. Logan Threlkeld coming into turn 1 right now. Now, Sammy Yosef, I should have paid attention whether he took tires or not. I don't know. But Threlkeld must have had a really decent stop, because Threlkeld is not that distance behind him. So Threlkeld is right there. If he can keep it up, it's going to take Samuel a little bit of time here to get his brain functioning again, to get back to where he was up to race speed. Maybe Logan could get back there and get in that slipstream right away.
It's after all of that, for them to only be a second and a half apart is fairly crazy, because I'm sure Samuel just was out there trying to click off those laps as fast as he could, plus the faster pit stop time.
Yeah, but I can tell you that those Mercedes also like to eat fuel. They got that big roaring V8 in there, and they don't sip fuel, they guzzle it. So they like to party on fuel. So, but Samuel's done a good job. Last season I watched Samuel run in the prototype field and did a great job in those cars. I don't think he got a victory, but did a great job. But he's here tonight in the GT3 field doing a great job. Got Mike Swartz in there, a lap car that they're about to pass there. Mike Swartzen in the 935, in that 911 GT3 Porsche. See that green machine as we're back up to our leader, Jason Kristen. Jason Kristen going by a lap car of Chase Barkus there. And I shouldn't say lap car, but going by one of the GT3 cars. Chase Barkus having a solid night in that third position, looking back out the rear of Jason Kristen. And that was Chase Barkus. Hopefully Chase might get a podium here tonight.
He has definitely earned it so far in this race. He's just been right there behind Threlkeld and Yosef this entire race. As we look at Andrew Carnes right now going through the infield course, about to turn back up onto the banking, going into turn 1 and 2, or the NASCAR turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, and he's got Noah Hogard in tow, so a couple of drivers we haven't talked about tonight battling for 9th and 10th. Noah Hogard
I was actually going to
put some
say
pressure
something
on.
about Noah earlier. Yeah. I was actually surprised seeing him up there. I mean, he's not setting the world on fire, but he's having himself a good, quiet race. We haven't had a reason to talk about him, but it's still a solid race.
Absolutely, running that Acura, doing a great job there, trying to chase down that Mobil 1 Ferrari there, just ahead of him there of Andrew Carnes. And Claire, there's something else. Now that it's getting close to the top of the hour here, and we're 10 minutes away or so from finishing the race, You know what's been on TV or on YouTube on ATYL Media, and that's Goat Talk Live. And that's where you get to find out all the goings on here at Goat Locker Racing. It's a great place to check out. You'll see we have special guests there. You find out what's going on in the league. You get I was just looking at GTR Simulator there. My brain just went pop. But anyway, yeah, you look at Go Talk Live. They're currently broadcasting right now on ATY Media out there on the YouTubes, I believe, tonight. So they're running parallel with us here tonight on the GT3 series. So I imagine we have a lot of people bouncing back and forth. But anyway, it's great to see the goings on in the league and what's going on with the charity here at Goat Locker Racing, and you'll get to see Pat Drabick and Eddie Smith. Well, Eddie Smith is on the track. Maybe there is no Goat Talk Live today. Maybe that's next week.
Yeah, I was actually about to say that Eddie did announce right before the show started that there was not going to be a Go Talk Live tonight.
I should have known when I seen him in the race, but I didn't put those two things together. It shows you how smart I am, but that's why I race virtual race cars. Looking back here at this battle here again with Andrew Carnes and Noah Hogard. So about the best battle on track right now besides the two leaders that we have, Sammy Yosef and Logan Trelkeld. So
I mean, that's the race between Samuel Yosef and Logan Trelkeld has not changed at all. There's still about a almost 2-second gap between them after that round of pit stops, and it doesn't seem like Trelkeld has managed to actually catch up to Joseph at all.
Yeah, about a second and a half. It kind of ebbs and flows. Probably has to do with the difference in cars, but great battle back here. Look at Hogard looking to the outside here. Ferrari gets a little squirrely there going into one. Hogard's going to look on the outside. No doing for that Acura as they go by the lap car there of Matt Wiebers. So Matt Wiebers currently running in the 16th position. Wiebers, I believe, is in that Ferrari as well. But Andrew Carnes is going to hold on. Oh, it gets a little wide there after Horseshoe. That's going to allow Hogard to get on the outside here, coming up to the kink. Hogard's got the position currently.
Sometimes you don't actually have to make the pass. You just have to make the guy in front of you make a mistake.
Yeah, and I think that's what happened. And it could have been that lap car. You get racing and you get focused on certain things and you expect certain things to happen. And I think I miscalled that. It looks like a McLaren that Wiebers is in. But so anyway, it screws up your mind. It screws up your rhythm if you got to change your line or something like that. And I think that's kind of what happened to Andrew Carnes there. He kind of just got off his game a little bit with the lap car there.
And also, I mean, with Noah being so close to him, he could have been mirror driving as well, and he might have just missed his braking point. As we switch back to the LMPs with Jason Kristen.
Yeah, Jason Kristen continuing to lead this race. No pressure, really. 24 seconds between him and second place of Zachary Minnis. But I got to tell you, Claire, you were talking about Yosef and Trelkeld, that gap not changing. Well, I hate to break it to you. It's actually changed just a little bit. Oh, we got a spin in front of Trelkeld. Had to go back and look at that. Sammy Yosef and Trelkeld. Looks like they were both able to get through that, but there was an incident right in front of them.
Maybe that's what kind of helped a little bit with the gap.
Oh, that was prior to me. No, it was already open. That's another incident there on the track. God, was that Eddie Smith?
Smith.
That's Corinne
Smith. Yeah. That number 10 Porsche.
Yeah, but it was almost a close call for both our leaders in the GT3 field. Sorry, we couldn't bring that to you, but you can see Trelkeld just closing back into his picture, just a little less than a half a second, closes in a little bit more just there going into turn one. So Trelkeld is there.
That is completely insane. As we come up with just 9 minutes left, Trelkeld is starting to play his cards on the track. So we might see a good one here on the GT3 side for a finish.
I believe so. So, we're looking at, like I said, 8.5 minutes left in this race.
That was a crazy closing.
Yeah, Trelkeld, well, he's got that a little bit of the toe now. He can sniff that Mercedes, and that Mercedes probably punches a big hole in the air. And And that front engine against rear engine once again. We'll see if these guys who's going to come out on top here tonight. But, that pit stop, that 3-second pit stop advantage that Sammy Yosef had during that cycle just hasn't paid off. And now he's going to have to race for this. If he wants the title here tonight, he's going to have to put the hammer down and fend off a very strong Logan Threlkeld.
One of the things that I actually didn't think to look at is whenever Threlkeld pit, Samuel Yosef was out there by himself. He didn't have any draft. I didn't even think to check to see if Threlkeld actually had draft whenever he was trying to catch back up to Yosef before he pit.
Well, if you're really lucky, the LMP2s cut a really big hole in the air. And if you can get on these straights, the Daytona straights, behind the LMP2, it might be short-lived, but you get behind them, they tow you like crazy. So Logan might have been able to get himself behind one of those LMP2s and make up that distance as well. It's hard to say we didn't catch it, but Logan is he's going to put some pressure here, and by my estimations, we'll probably have about 5 to go as we got 7 minutes and 15 seconds or so to settle this thing. So, and it's all going to depend on where Jason Kristen, if he can hold on to this thing, currently leading this LMP2 field. And speaking of leading the field, he's actually he's pretty much just out attritioned everybody because other than Zachary Minnis, who's currently running second, when I'm talking about the LMP2s, Trevor Dyer, Jordan Johnson, and Samuel Agee are all out of this race. And so tough break for those drivers. It was great watching them early in the race, watching those LMP2s battle, but that's kind of over now. It's Jason Kristen's race to lose. We're still keeping our eyes on this battle for the first place in the GT3 field.
Well, it's one of the best battles on the track because all it takes, they are so close together, and a whole lot of the other drivers, unfortunately, aren't actually running, like battling each other for position. It's more about getting around lap cars and stuff like that.
Now, my question is I haven't raced the Porsche this season, so I don't know if you can see all the sparks coming off that Mercedes as they hit those pyramid curves coming out of the bus stop. But speaking of that, Logan probably, I've raced Daytona many times, and you don't want to be, it's almost like stock car racing almost for these sports cars is you don't want to be leading on the last lap because that tow, but the tow on the GT3s isn't as good as it used to be in iRacing, so it's really hard to get a run. So my sense is as long as the Porsche is still good at going through the bus stop like it used to be, Logan might be just sitting back, going to time up that last lap to get through that bus stop better than Sammy Yosef, get that Porsche over the curbs and try to get a run coming down to the start-finish line.
Yeah, usually the leader is always a sitting duck whenever it comes to the oval side, and I'm assuming with how much, like you said, there's not a whole lot, but you do spend a good probably 3/4 of the lap on those ovals, and the draft does play a major part of this race, and so I'm sure that also does translate over to where the leader's probably still a sitting duck if you got somebody that close behind you.
Yeah, and especially with somebody that goes over the curbs better too. But Sammy Yosef is doing a great job in that Mercedes tonight. Was able to keep right up on Logan Threlkeld all night long. So, it's hard to say. We'll have to see how this shakes out. I was just going back to see if Carnes and Hogard were still battling out, but that battle has ended. Hogard has moved himself up to that P10 spot, or actually in 8th position. So that battle has ended between those two drivers back there in the field as we keep our eyes on to see who's going to settle this thing. There you see Jason Kristen currently leading the LMP2 class, GTDs, or GTPs, I should say, in that zero car. And he's coming up on the leader here. Oh, I wanted to say that was Sammy Yosef. I was wrong. That's Logan. What am I looking at here? Why is that? That's Logan Threlkeld and Sammy Yosef. I'm looking at two screens at the same time. It's screwing me up.
Yeah, they are
have an issue
coming up. What's up?
They have an issue. They got some lap traffic they're going to have to contend with. So not only do they have to race each other, they got all this lap traffic in front of them that could play a factor in here. As we're looking at about 3.5 minutes left in this race, about 3 laps left to go. We'll see how Sammy Yosef approaches this traffic. You got, looks like Eddie Smith, Matt Weavers, DJ Patterson, maybe Andrew Carnes up there just ahead of him, fighting to stay on the lead lap. And you can see there, Matt Weaver's just there in that McLaren. Samuel going by on the outside. Weaver's on the inside. Now Logan's going to have to navigate this very carefully. Logan caught traffic in a bad place there.
Yeah.
As they get around Weaver's now. Now they got DJ Patterson just ahead of him. Currently watching our leader there in the LMP2, Jason Kristen.
That lead has shrunk a ton. It's down to 7.3 seconds. I'm thinking Jason's probably taking it easy, trying to just make it to the end. However, the Menace is closing pretty fast.
Yeah, and he could be saving fuel there, and so that could be, might not taken enough fuel during that stop, or maybe made his pit stop a lap too early, and so he might be saving. Be interesting to see how that shakes out. Yeah, Zachary Menace 7 seconds back. Gonna have about 2 laps to go next time they cross, by my estimation. We ride on board with Jason Kristen. Having a solid night out here. I'm sure he would like to get a win here. I was talking about some of our other drivers getting the first win of the season, but Jason Kristen out here in a prototype would love to get a win here to start the season off.
I believe he's also the defending champion from the Summer Series, correct?
I'm not sure. I wasn't around for the Summer Series, but quite possible. He's a good road course racer in his own right.
As we come back to the GT3 class, Threlkeld is on Joseph's bumper as they continue to go through the lap traffic. It looks like Andrew Carnes is right there in front of him in that Mobil 1 Ferrari as they go through the horseshoe. Threlkeld is definitely keeping Joseph honest throughout this. And it looks like he tried to make a peek there, but unfortunately, Joseph just closed the door on him as they go up to turn 1 and 2 onto the oval.
Yeah, Logan putting some great pressure on that driver, doing exactly what he needs to do here. Try to force a mistake here. Only got probably a lap and a half, 2 laps to get this done. Just going to look at where our leader is. We're going to keep our eye on this battle here for the GT3 win here. But Jason Kristen, we're looking at that. Jason Kristen is about to cross the line here. Oh, no, he's on the back stretch, actually going through the bus stop. You can see him. He's got that lap car there. Matt Weber's just ahead of him. I think he's going to take he's going to take the white flag here this time by. So when he crosses the start finish line, that white flag will be out. And the white flag is sponsored by Hoosier Tires. So here comes Jason Kristen. He's got to get it done one more time, but Zachary Menace. Oh, there, he didn't have enough fuel. Zachary Menace is going to take the white flag presented by Hoosier Tire. As you can see that Jason Kristen, just didn't have enough fuel. Tried to save it on pit lane. Zachary Menace in the catbird seat. That's exactly, our producer called this one out. Said that driver might be saving fuel. But right now, we got the battle right now for the win in the GT3 field between these two drivers.
Yeah, Joseph is still sitting there in the lead. However, Threlkeld has been right there behind him the entire time. Will we have a situation to where, Joseph is the sitting duck as we go through the bus stop and through on the NASCAR 3 and 4?
Yeah, man, I got to tell you, Logan's going to need a perfect bus stop exit here to get this thing done. So, like I said, we are coming down to it, and I'm looking at Zachary Menace now. He's on the final couple of corners here. He's on the NASCAR backstretch here, coming towards the front stretch as we watch those two drivers. Looking at Sammy Yosef. Oh, we got Zachary Menace. He's going to win this thing, but we're watching this battle through the bus stop here. Logan needs to hit this perfect.
And it looks like Joseph actually managed to pull away a little bit. So I don't know if Threlkeld is going to have enough to get by him, and that gap just seems just a tad bit for that for the draft to play a real effect coming to the line.
Yeah, I'm just watching. I might have been a lap off. We don't get it coming to the line here. Zachary Menace should be taking the victory here. I'm just looking. It looks like these cars are still racing, so Yeah, it looks like, Zachary Menace is your winner. Is just taking the GTR Simulator checkered flag there. And so back to Sammy Yosef and Logan Threlkeld. That battle's still going on. These drivers are going to have to come around and finish their race off, but Logan has lost a bunch of time, so he's 3-4 seconds back there. I don't think he's going to get back to him before we cross the start-finish line.
I wonder if we have a similar situation with Jason Christen where Threlkeld didn't take enough gas. As we see Corinne Smith spin out of the bus stop.
But Corinne must like going round and round. What's that song? Round and round. She's been spinning that Porsche around. But congrats to Zachary Menace. Gets what a way to start the season there in that prototype. He's going to collect up his first win. Sammy Yosef now there coming around the corner. We'll see what Samuel, if he's going to take credit for a win here. You see the fireworks going off there for Zachary. But here comes Samuel.
Samuel coming out of turn 4, coming up to the tri-oval. Nope, I am wrong. He's going up to the bus stop. Apologize.
He's only got one bus stop nail biter to get through there, Claire. And there you go.
And
2 more corners.
Now he's coming through NASCAR Oval 3 and 4, coming down the line, planting his car down on the double yellow line as he's rounding the corner. He doesn't have any threat from Logan anymore, so he's just taking it easy as he comes across the line to win the GT3 class. He's doing a little celebrating early.
Yeah, well, hopefully he's got his Hans device on because he celebrated that Mercedes right into the outside retaining wall there. So Logan Threlkeld ends up finishing second there. Chase Marcus coming around right now, trying to wrap up the podium here. Jason Christen finished second in the LMP2. The other LMP2s are out. We're just looking for our Chase Marcus here to cross the line. He is going to grab the 3rd position. Well, I'll tell you what, we are going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to come back with the unofficial results, and we'll talk to our podium finishers here tonight. We are back live here at Daytona. What an exciting race for the first race of the season. We had 5 prototypes start the field, only 2 completed, but look who's on top of this thing. Zachary Menace will finish with his first win of the season. Jason Christen just behind him. And those are your top 2 prototype finishers. And then Trevor Dyer ends up finishing 22nd on the field after an incident with his, along with his teammate Jordan Johnson will finish 23rd. Samuel Iggy will finish 24th. What do you got going on for the GT3 field there?
The GT3 field, we got Samuel Yosef finishing 1st, Logan Threlkeld finishing 2nd, Chase Marcus finishing 3rd, Carmen Jory, I apologize, I just butchered that.
Jerry,
yeah. Finishing 4th, Jamie Lipke finishing 5th, John Houchin finishing 6th, Corinne Smith finishing 7th, Noah Hogard finishing 8th. And after that, you got Andrew Carnes finishing 9th, and Bill Mofield finishing 10th.
Now, folks, you're looking at the scoring there. It's a little bit different. We don't have it separated between the classes. That's why we're calling it a little bit different. But So we got Mike Swartzen that finished 11th officially there in the GT3 series. James Goshen will finish 12th. Charles Abert will finish 13th. Eddie Smith 14th. DJ Patterson. Well, speaking of Eddie Smith, he should have stuck with Go Talk Live tonight. It looks like tough break for Eddie Smith. But DJ Patterson will finish P15. Dave Calvert 16th. Matt Weaver 17th. Jason Black 18th. And John Lawless will finish 19th with Anna Softic wrapping out your 20-car field in the GT3s tonight. So, well, that was quite a race. Why don't we talk to our winner there of the prototype field, and that was going to be Zachary Minnis. I'm already giving the wrong drivers credit here. Zachary Minnis won that race. See if we can bring him on board. Zachary, Ken Huber in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
What a great race you guys had, especially the first half of the race. All five of you were going at it, but you ended up on top tonight. Talk about your race tonight.
Well, I definitely had, I think, one of the more interesting races. Kind of was slow to get going there at the green. Kind of just battling, letting the tires warm up, and then I had that little early race contact, and I think I was like 8 seconds behind. Thought, that's probably where I'll end up because the top three cars were in the draft. But Daytona, the infield, lapped cars, ended up somehow after the pit stop cutting a driver, and I made the dumb move, took new tires, and it was night and cold, and he saw my spin and took out my teammate Sam Ege, and I was content with third. That's where I thought I'd end up, and just continued to push like hell and ended up coming in first. Got a little luck on my side.
Well, it was fun watching you guys tonight. I can't wait to see you next week. Long Beach, kind of a tight track. You're going to do some city driving. You up for that?
Well, unfortunately, this was probably my one race this season.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I've been deployed for the last 5 months, home for a week, and going back out the door tomorrow. So probably missed the rest of the season, which sucks because, I love the LMP2s and was hoping for this last year, but they did the GTPs last year. So sucks I'm going to miss out. Hopefully the LMPs stick around. They're a lot of fun. And next week's race at Long Beach should be a really fun race for the LMPs.
Well, nothing beats service to your country. That's what we're all about. And what a way to deploy on you. At least you're going out on a high note. So I look forward to seeing you when you get back, though. So great race, and we'll see you when you get back.
Thank you, sir.
Well, that was our winner there. I think you have, Claire, you have Sammy Yosef on board with you?
Yeah, let me try to make sure I've got a copy. Sam, this is Claire up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Oh, hey, what's going on?
Hey, that was a crazy race. I thought that you and Logan were going to be battling it out on that last lap, but seems like you were able to pull away there at the end. How'd you manage to secure the win at the end there?
Yeah, no, I got lucky. Porsche around Daytona is incredible. The i9 and the Mercedes, which is a boat. So I had to be a little greedy and sit behind Logan for most of the race so I could try to get a gap on pits, but the Porsche is just incredible and traffic happened. And me and Logan were talking while waiting. I heard he got a slowdown in the bus stop. If we had battled that last lap, I probably would have ran out of fuel coming out of turn 3 and 4. So I got lucky. I'll take the win, though. Incredible battle with Logan all night. Love to have a strategy race and came out with the win.
Yeah, we were thinking we were probably trying to save some fuel there with the draft, but it definitely seems like y'all got you had it figured out tonight. Do you have anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, a lot of people to thank. I want to give a shout out to Lincoln Tech, Jam Printing and Promotions, GTR Simulators, of course, the Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs. I want to give a shout out to the teams, TWR, and on my livery today, Anglo Racing. Shout out to the boys out there. Great race. We'll see what happens next week.
Well, we'll see you next week at Long Beach. Hopefully, you'll have some fun out there on the streets of California.
All right, have a good one.
You too.
Yeah, what a race he put on there tonight. So I am going to talk to Jason Kristen here. Man, what a great job he did here tonight. So I'll look here to see where Jason is at. Jason, Ken Huber in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yep, I got you, Ken.
What a great race. You guys put on a hell of a show the first half of the race. Talk about your race tonight, because, man, you were putting some pressure on those boys tonight, and I was really rooting for you.
Well, it looked like it was nothing but chaos in front of me, and I'm really glad that I was able to stay out of it. But my goal tonight was just to keep my nose clean and have a decent finish. Wasn't expecting to contend for the win, especially with how fast some of those other guys were. But just after my pit stop, things kind of changed, and suddenly a win seemed like it was in the cards. But yeah, Fuel Man didn't put enough in.
Yeah, we were watching that, and it seemed you had to duck into pit lane with 2 laps to go. But great job. Who do you have to thank, and what do you have for Long Beach next week?
For Long Beach, I have no idea. I haven't turned any laps there in weeks. But
What's your favorite track?
yeah, well, we'll see how it goes. But I got to thank Save 22, GTR Simulators for sponsoring the series, everybody at V-Speed for these amazing broadcasts, Alexander PC's Cruising Classics, Ghost Energy, Signature Signs and Graphics, Pappy's Pet Lodge, and my new partners, Tornado Talk, if you want to learn about tornado history, and Weather Brains, if you want to listen to a weekly podcast that's all about weather.
All right, well, awesome on the second place finish, and good luck next week in California.
All right, thank you so much.
There you have it. Famous words from Jason Kristen there in the LMP2 class.
All right, it looks like we'll try to get Logan Threlkeld up here, ask him about his race. Hey, Logan, this is Claire up in the booth. Do we have a copy?
You got a copy, Claire. What's up?
Hey, I just got done watching you and Sam battle it out for this entire race, and can you tell me how that went? Because I thought you were going to get him there at the end. What happened?
Oh, Sam got lucky is what happened. This might have well been Vegas for him. He rolled the dice and hit Snake Eyes or whatever you want to hit. I don't know. He got lucky. I'll say it fair and square. I got a slowdown penalty, the one of 4 times I actually messed up in the bus stop. This was the best race I've ever had at Daytona through and through. And, it's just right there. I don't know. I pushed into the bus stop, couldn't quite get grip underneath the front tires. I went wide of the turtles there on the exit so I wouldn't flip the freaking car over. And 1 second slowdown, it bit me, but I was coming for him. I knew where I could attack. Turn 1 and turn 3 were going to be my bread and butter and getting around that car, and I just never got a chance to.
Yeah, Ken, whenever we were watching y'all, Ken was saying that you had to hit that bus stop perfect, and I guess that was just the difference in that race.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But well, you still ended up with a podium finish, second place. Not too bad. Good points day. Do you have anybody you'd like to thank?
Of course. Obviously GTR Simulators for putting this together for us. Really cool to have them on board this season. Save 22 as always. You guys up in the booth, V-Speed. Appreciate you, Claire, Ken, Kobe behind the scenes. You guys really looking forward to watching this one back. Alexander PCs, Cruising Classics, of course. And then everybody else behind the scenes. I know we've got quite a few new sponsors this season, so really happy to see everybody jumping on board here with Goat Locker Racing. All the admin and crew that put this together. And it's just, it's a blast. Looking forward to doing this more often. I wasn't quite committing to these Thursday nights, but I'm going to have to come out here and whoop Sam a couple good times, because that one's going to sit on my back for a while and just kind of be that monkey that I don't want to be there. So I'm going to come back. I'm going to get him.
You better come back.
You don't want to let his ego get too big. I mean, you have to.
Oh, you should have heard him in the waiting room. He was really talking himself up. No, I'm kidding. Sam was very humble. We had a fantastic race together, and he fought hard. He put on a great show, put on just an outstanding drive. So hats off to him. He deserves it. Very hard and well fought one.
That's good sportsmanship. I always like to hear it. Well, thank you for your time. I look forward to talking to you if I ever actually call a race that you're in again. But y'all, you have a great night.
See you, Claire. Thank you.
I guess rounding out the podium, we got Chase Vargas. Let's see if we can get a hold of him. Hey, Chase, you got Claire and Ken up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, man. How's it going?
Oh, it's going pretty good. I was more interested on how your night was going because you ended up with a podium here at Daytona.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty surprised with that. Yeah, just happy to pull it out.
Yeah, it seemed like that entire race you were just, barely like, 2, 3, maybe 5 seconds off pace of the, not off pace, off of the leaders and ready to pounce if either one of them made a mistake.
Yeah, that's pretty much how the whole night went. The start was a little crazy. Like going into that first corner, I heard 3 wide from the spotter, and then I saw 2 guys sliding out in front of me. I was able to get through that. And then, yeah, I was pretty much just 2 seconds back for the first half. I ran out of fuel a little faster, I guess pushing kind of hard. And then from there, I was pretty much just cruising along, trying to survive to the end.
Well, survive you did, and you survived all the way to a podium finish. Do you have anybody you would like to thank?
Yes, I do. Fraternal Order of Eagles, Sim Motion, Harpoon Design, Zach Graphics, and GTR Simulators, along with my boys over at Chisco Boys Racing. Shout them out for all the support. Yeah.
Yeah, we got Long Beach next week. We're planning on doing some practice laps. Trying to take that win next week.
Yeah, definitely gonna have to be practicing all throughout the week. I've never turned any laps there, so definitely excited for it.
Yeah, the last time I raced there, Ken Huber won on a wet surface with dry tires. So, but you have a great night, Chase. Thank you for talking to us, and congratulations again on your podium.
Yep, thank you guys.
Well, that rounds up our podium finishers. What a great, hey, thanks for filling in for Mr. Parks here tonight, Claire. It was great having you in here in the booth. Thoughts on the race?
It was very interesting. I actually have never, sat down and watched one of these races from this point of view. I'm usually have a pretty bad taste in my mouth because I'm usually out there in it, wrecking every other corner. So the strategy, everything about the GT3s and the LMPs, especially the 2 classes with the closing speeds, it's a completely different animal than what I'm used to on the oval side.
Yeah, and when you go back, you can take this knowledge with you too. So I think you'll find yourself a better driver knowing a little bit more what's going on when you see the bigger picture.
For sure. But
anyway,
I probably need to actually get better driving in general, but still.
Well, it was a great race here tonight for the first race of the season. Like I said, we've mentioned it before. We're at Long Beach next week where anything can happen. That's almost, I want to say it's the Bristol of road course racing because it is tight racing there, and you got 2 different classes with 2 very different speed capabilities in these cars. So it's going to be quite exciting. So now make sure you tune in next week for the racing here at Long Beach. But with that said, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank our series sponsor. That is GTR Simulators, a leader in professional grade racing and flight simulator equipment. Can't thank them enough for being part of the sports car series here this week. Got to thank Pat and Jamie for letting us race here at Goat Locker Racing. Don't forget, next week is Goat Talk Live. Since it wasn't this week, make sure you guys tune into that next Thursday at the same time that this race happens. We're gonna simulcast that one, I guess. Look forward to seeing everybody next week. With that said, good night. Be safe, everyone.